Hi everyone, welcome to Kids Paint Night. This week we are going to be doing lavender. So this is about what it's going to look like. I did this more than a year ago, so I don't know how well I'm going to replicate it, but I will try. So everybody has your blank canvas. Before you start painting any of the lavender, cover your entire canvas in a quick layer of white and let it dry before you go on to the flowers. Oops. And then what we're going to do first is open these up. The first thing we're going to do are the stems and the leaves. So we're going to need the green. We're not going to need the paper plate yet. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take a flat brush and see if that works best for now. And I'm going to take the green, and what you're basically going to do is you're just going to kind of make stems kind of all over your canvas. Try to make them as skinny as you can. I'm using a flat brush so I can use it skinny ways to get a skinnier line rather than going width ways. But just do the best you can with whatever kind of brush you have. And you're just going to kind of make your stems all over. There's no right or wrong. Some are going to be longer, some are going to be shorter, but you want to fill it up pretty full. See, like on the sample, I got a lot of green everywhere, and a lot of it does go up higher too. So just go ahead, take your green, make stems all over, make short ones, long ones, but you need to kind of really fill up the canvas so you have enough there. Don't fill it up so much that you don't see through the green anymore. And you need different lengths because your flowers are going to sit on the top of some of them, and you don't always know where it's going to fall. So it's just good to have a bunch of green so you can't really tell where your flowers are coming from. Make sure you start from the bottom and work your way up to get your line. You come out with a nice line that way. Let me show you off to the side here. See, when you go up like this, you end up with a skinnier line. But when you start, and you have a nice edge to it. When you start and come down, it's too chunky at the top. So you want it to be just kind of light at the end. And all of them are going to come out a little different. But just try to start at the bottom and go upward. Make some straighter. Make some more crooked. Some are going to be a little wider. Some are going to be a little skinnier. There's no right or wrong. Just kind of fill it up random all over. Do a few more. And then also, I am going to mix a little bit of green with a smidgen of purple. Wash that off real quick. And I'm only doing this to darken my green. I didn't give you guys black to darken your green because we didn't need black for anything else. So it's okay if you just kind of do it with your purple. And then go back and do some more in this darker shade, which my green is too far down. It still needs to be a little darker. Just kind of play around with it. You just need a darker green so it doesn't look like all of your green stems are exactly the same color. It's really not necessary to give you 2 shades of green when you can just make your own second shade. So see how you have 2 shades of green now? That's kind of what you want. And I'm not sure which order I told you on the directions, but I think for now we're just going to do the flowers and not really leaves yet. We have enough on that one. See how it looks nice that you have a few dark ones mixed in amongst your lighter ones? You need some variance in color. And it's okay to make some wider because they could kind of look like a wide leaf rather than a stem. Okay, so once you did that, go ahead and wash your brush off. Now the next thing is we need different shades of purples. So I'm going to take some white. I'm going to move this for a minute. I'm going to take some white, make sure I got all the green out of it. And I'm going to take a couple different things of white. Like that. And then I'm going to take, remember, add a little bit at a time of your dark color to your white, because it's always easiest to add a little bit more. You can't take it away. And to add white to it afterward, you got to keep adding a lot of white. So you want, some of yours pale, like this. And then some of them you're going to want a little darker. Let me wash this off so I can get the other one now. I gave you 2 different color purples. One is actually purple and one is violet. The darker one is the violet. So they do look different once you get them on your canvas. And even when you mix them with the white, you'll notice the difference. The purple has definitely got more pink to it. And the other one has got more kind of blue to it, which I'm actually going to make that one a smidgen darker. So a little bit more of the purple. Getting paint everywhere on me today. Make that darker, and then I'm going to take more of this to make a darker color with this one. You can make as many different shades of the colors that you need. I'm going to start out with that count, and then I'm going to use, the regular colors too, natural colored. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to just pick a spot like on the top of a stem, and you can just make your little flower. I am using a brush that is rounded at the end so I can get that rounded look, which is what I'm looking for. So just go ahead and just randomly pick some spots here and there. I wouldn't go any further than about 2-3 inches from the bottom though. You don't want too many down low. They look better if they're up higher to really look like they're sitting on the stems. So I would choose like one of your colors at a time and just go around and put them randomly here and there. I would make them about that big, You can have some bigger, some smaller. But I would do one color at a time, kind of spread out all over, and then go back. You just kind of want an oval shape is what you're looking for. Kind of an oval, so that way at the ends you have a rounded look. And you want a lot of them. So you want yours pretty full all over. And like I said, you can have different sizes. Some can be bigger, some can be smaller. Keep getting green on my arm now. Boy. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit. So I'm just going along with the first color so far. Like I said, some can be smaller, some can be bigger, and you just want to randomly go all over. It's kind of easier to do one color at a time, so this way you can see how spaced apart they are without overcrowding one color all on one side or in one spot. It also helps when you added white to the purple, to the lighter one, because the purple is more transparent and you'll be able to see through it and see the green a lot more. So you don't even have to like put them necessarily on a stem. You just want them everywhere. Let's see, do this up higher, this one. All right, then after you get a bunch of one color on there, you keep going back now with another color. So now I'm going to take my more purple color. So you can definitely see the difference on here of the colors. And if you didn't mix your purple and your white real good, that's always good because then you have little streaks in there and that kind of makes it look more realistic. So just kind of go all over with it. Got the purple coming through and it's ending up looking like the other one. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Now it's got the more pink look. And I'm not even trying like, I'm not even working like so hard of trying to get the shape just right because they don't have to be perfect. That's kind of the nice thing. They don't have to be exactly perfect. It's just a flower growing. Flowers aren't perfect. So just fill up your canvas all over. Now I'm going to switch to the third color, which is the lightest. Put some of those on. See what that ends up looking like. Okay. Should have gone more up there. Okay. And now you can even take some of the regular natural color without anything added, and you could do some in this color now too. But see how the purple, see how you can see through it? That's kind of why I like the purple better with the white in it, because it's too see-through otherwise. So I would stick to using those like up higher. They'll show up better. All right, do I want them? Okay, needed one more of that one. And you don't even necessarily have to wash your brush off in between. You could just kind of let the colors blend together too, just to even get more colors. Now I'm going to do some of the dark ones. These are the violet. But see how you have a good variety of color then all over, mixed in. Doesn't matter if you have a stem underneath it or not. Everything's just kind of in the air. Because you're going to have so much everywhere that you're not going to even realize that all of your flowers don't have a stem underneath it. Like I said, just kind of fill it up all over. You want lots of flowers. Doesn't matter if they're overlapping some. I started lighter and then I went darker, because this way then when you go over the light ones it won't matter so much. You can't get the light ones to cover up the dark ones, so it's easier if you go with the lighter and then work your way to the dark. And I'm so tired of getting green from the stems on my arm. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop with those, perhaps. All right, you could even go further up. I should have gone further up with the stems to begin with, but it's also kind of nice looking when you have it more open up at the top too. All right, so now while that's drying a little bit, you want to go back with the green and you want to make a bunch of leaves now. Just kind of make some same shape, a little smaller for your leaves. You don't want everything to just be lines to be stems. You have to have leaves coming from somewhere too. So just kind of fill it up a little bit with some smaller ovals, which are just your leaves. Have them kind of going different ways. You don't want them all the same direction. So I'm going to do the side of the brush instead. You can have some going in front of your flowers. Just make sure your flowers are dry when you do that. Otherwise it'll just smear them. You can have some up here. See, like that one just smeared. Just make sure they're dry. I don't have time to wait for them to dry, but you can. And come back to it. But see how I'm just kind of filling up now in between where we were before with the other. You just really want to just fill it all up, because it looks nicer if you got a lot in there. You want a lot of color. You want it pretty full. And you can use the plain green, and you can also go back with the dark green that we made. And you can go with that too and make some of them the dark green. And I'm not even looking necessarily for, a stem to put it on, I'm just kind of putting them around everywhere. And have some down low. You can have some up high. Everybody's leaf doesn't have to be shaped the same. I don't know exactly what the shape is of a leaf from lavender. I have no idea exactly, but I'm just kind of making a leaf shape. Like I said, some of them can go in front of flowers. You don't have to avoid the flowers. Look more natural if some of them did go in front of the flowers. And just kind of go all over with them. And just kind of fill it up. If you see anything that looks kind of more like it's floating and it doesn't have anything attached to it, like this one kind of almost looks like it's floating because that's so skinny, stick a leaf there and then it'll look like it is attached to a stem. You're just kind of giving the illusion that it is. Nobody's just going to sit there and make sure everything is attached. It's going to be harder for some of it to get covered up over the darker flowers though. But just go ahead and go all over and just kind of fill it up. Make some of them a little bigger, some of them a little smaller. Go all the way down to the bottom. All right, you just basically do that all over. So then the next step is you have to do something else with your flowers because they have to have the little flower part, the little tiny little dot part on there. So you see what I've got? I'm going to try a round brush. See how that works out. This one kind of spreads out a little. I hope it works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with a lighter one. So I'm going to take some of my lighter and I'm going to look for one of the flowers that, now make sure your flowers are dry. The base part of the flower is dry before you go on because otherwise your colors are all just going to keep smearing. But I'm going to take the lighter color and I'm going to go on a darker one and I'm just going to make some little dots on it because that's kind of how the lavender grows. It's got these little things on it, like the little buds coming out of it. So just kind of make some little dots all over it. They're kind of more, instead of a dot, it's kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of a line. Kind of like a slight oval too. See, like that one doesn't show up as much on it because it is already light to begin with. But just kind of do it all over. Make sure like I said, your base part of your flowers are dry first. Otherwise, you're just going to smear everything. Kind of just like a little dash. Kind of look for ones that don't have the same color ready. Let's see. Some of them will show up better than others. I'm going to try a lighter one. See, just kind of like little dashes all over. Let's see if it'll show up. Kind of experiment on which color looks best on what color base of the flower. Everything kind of shows up better on the darker ones. So you just kind of go all over and do that with the little dots. Also go back, take your dark colors and do it on your lighter base of your flower. See how much better it shows up when you do the dark on the light. So you can just kind of go all over. And you don't have to keep doing the same color on the same base color. I mean, like the dark doesn't all have to be on the same light colored one. You could use both of them. But remember, this one doesn't cover as well. Probably will have to put it on a little thicker because it is more transparent. But see, it shows up. So just kind of go all over with those. Obviously, you're not going to use a dark color like this and a dark color like that because you can barely see it. But you can just do it like this, all over. And the same thing, just kind of randomly do them all over. You don't have to have them, like I said, the same color on the same color. And then this way you have more variety everywhere. Okay, I am not going to do all these because I'd be here forever. But you get the general idea of it. So that's all you do to finish up your flowers, is just to go through, make the little dot kind of things all over it. And then just kind of fill up your painting however you can. See how my leaves are? They're just like the little dashes, the little oval kind of things. And then all the little dots that are on the different color flowers. You just really just keep going until it's filled up nicely. It doesn't have to cover the whole thing, like this one went up a lot higher. I mean, I like this one. It didn't go up as high, but I like how high it did go. So I like that there's a little bit more of the white openness at the top. So just kind of go around. Like, see, this one is almost blending in, but shows up enough that it looks good. So just go ahead and go through your whole entire flowers, all your flowers like that. Add your little dots to it, and that is it then. And you would be done. If you're done with that part then too, you can also go back, and if you see some more spots in here that you want to add, you can do that. You can go back and you can add more leaves if you see, you know, places that you missed. You can go ahead and do that too. Like right here, it looks a little empty. Just fill it in. You want it pretty full. You want a lot in there because you want to just kind of fill it all in and cover it up to make it look better. So you're not seeing all the emptiness, and it'll look good that way then. It looks better when it's more full. All right, so that's it. Thanks for coming. And this is the last one for the spring. If you signed up, there's a family paint night. You can sign up for that one if you want to call the library and sign up for it. All right, but we are all done, and thank you for coming. Bye.